Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing a manga chapter review of Akame ga Kill chapters 43 through 53. Now, these chapters are the chapters that pretty much White Fox decided to skip. Majority of this content literally was skipped. It was fucking skipped. The only thing that wasn't skipped was chapter 53, like parts of chapter 53. So, yeah. Now I see why it's being called an anime original by a lot of Chibis. They changed a lot. They changed the deaths of 2 characters. Oh my god, the death changes they did. And the way they skipped certain content. Oh my god. But before I get into that, before I talk about what they really just... what made me mad about that, let's talk about the stuff that actually went down in these chapters. Now, if you are an anime-only watcher and you do not want to be spoiled, I recommend you end this video right now. I'm just going to say it right now. I recommend you end it right now before I continue on, because I do not want to spoil anime-only watchers or people that are anime-only watchers and want to read the manga, because I will be talking about content you have never seen from the series. So anyways, I'm going to give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so I want to start. This read I just did goes into the Wild Hunt arc. This is the arc that the anime decided to completely just cut out. Now, looking at the arc from a perspective, okay, I'm trying to grasp the picture here. Why would White Fox skip this arc? Like, why would they skip it? Because a lot of the content they did, it was actually perfect to adapt for these last couple episodes to leave it on a decent cliffhanger for a possibility of a season 2. So I was questioning when I was reading these chapters, why would they skip this? So let's dive into it and think about this for a second. Now, majority of us anime watchers of Akame ga Kill, and most likely manga readers know by now, the actual anime version of Akame ga Kill is heavily censored in Japan. Like, we get the uncensored version from Crunchyroll and stuff. We get the uncensored version. We don't get to see those black bars that the Japanese have to see in Japan. If you actually look at the censorship that Japan has to go through when they watch Akame ga Kill, it's actually worse than Terraform Mars. It definitely is. It's a lot worse than censorship compared to Terraform Mars in Japan. And that is bad. That's, oh my god, that's bad. And so, I have to think about this. Judging by the censorship of recent anime, I'm thinking the reason why White Fox decided to skip the Wild Hunt arc is actually because of censorship reasons. But personally, from my perspective, the arc wasn't that bad, so to say, to actually warrant skipping entirely. I mean, that's most likely the case and the reason why they decided to skip Wild Hunt, but I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can give to White Fox. It's the only thing I can say that could probably support their case for why they would skip Wild Hunt. But even into my standpoint, it wasn't that bad of an arc. I've seen so much fucking worse when it comes to series, like Berserk, for instance. I've seen much worse when it comes to rape and torture scenes, that felt like it was nothing when I read it. I mean, it was fucked up. Oh god, it was fucked up when I read. But I mean, in terms of dark themes and how dark something really can get, it was not even close to the level of Berserk I saw. And so, once again, it just shows manga, or from the earlier ages, like, you know, 90s or 80s, can no longer possibly be turned into a fucking anime because of new censorship laws in Japan. But anyways, moving past that. Now that I've grasped the concept, most likely why White Fox skipped this, let's talk about the content they actually changed. Okay, the biggest problems I can see why a lot of fans of Akame ga Kill are probably pissed off is because of a couple reasons. For one thing, they skipped Wave's fight with Shura. Hopefully I said his name right. They skipped the fight with Shura versus Wave. In that fight right there, that was actually a very key moment for the series. A very massive change in perspectives of Wave, or the Jaegers in general. And then Ron dying too. I was like, holy shit. So, the overall perspective of them skipping certain pieces in this, it actually destroys characters. It actually destroys characters, destroys build-up, destroys the personality changes and stuff like that. And I'm guessing the events that they're going into right now in the anime, that they have skipped all this content, it's going to feel very shallow for anime-only watchers. Because they are definitely going on an anime original. That's fucking confirmed now. Now I understand why. And I will go in depth to explain to you anime-only watchers if you want to know for yourself if you're still watching. Okay. The Death of Rama, that was in the anime of the recent episode that aired this past Sunday. I, as an anime-only watcher, when I watched that episode, I stated I felt nothing for his death. That's what I stated in my anime review. And I still will not take that back. I felt nothing when I watched it in the anime. I did not realize how much they really changed when it came to Rama's death. And Shura's death. Both of those characters, the way they died was way different from the manga, from what I read. Rama, I think, like I said, this ties into my earlier discussion from this video. They probably changed the death of Rama and Shura because of censorship reasons. I'm willing to bet it. I'm willing to place money on the table for that. But it doesn't matter. If, like I said in my last review of Akame ga Kill, if you can't adapt it right, don't fucking do it. So, anyways, instead of bringing back the old past, let's talk about this some more. Rama gets his balls, like one of his nuts, crushed. I'm not fucking joking. I'm not joking at all. Rama literally gets one of his ball sacks crushed with pliers, torture pliers, in a torture cell in the Empire, like the capital, by Shura. And now I understand why so many Chibits were pissed off, manga readers were pissed off, because it really, at the end of the day, it looked like Shura was a one-dimensional villain in the anime, like he just wanted power. That's all what he seemed to have at the end of the anime episode, or the last episode. It just seemed like he wanted power, and he died, he was nothing. Like, I didn't give a shit about him. And do you see what he caused in the little span that he was really in the series? Like, he was a major focus in the series since chapter 36, chapter, oh my god, what am I saying, 36? What the fuck? I'm way too tired. Chapter 46, not 36, what the fuck? Chapter 46, he makes a major appearance into the series. He forms the Wild Hunt, and the Wild Hunt arc begins. And now I understand the hatred I'm supposed to feel towards him. But personally, at the end of the day, I really don't hate Shura as much as I did Demonic Justice. But I'm not talking about, like, Mr. Champ. Mr. fucking Champ or Krusty Clown? That dude's fucked up. But I'll get into him in just a moment. But Shura, I want to talk about his motives real quick. He, at the end of the day, even after this arc of reading in the manga, he is a one-dimensional villain. He's just a standard villain that was fodder at the end of the day. I want to be honest. The only importance he proved in the little time he was actually very important to the series, besides, summoning the Danger Beast, like freeing the Danger Beast from Dr. Stylish, the only importance he proved was to show how corrupt the Empire really has gotten, and seeing the development of Kurome and Wave. And seeing how most likely they might defect to Night Raid or the Rebels. That's what that set up. That was the main importance you can get from Wild Hunt. Like, their little, group, pretty much. And it's fucked up for what they do in the little time span they've done. That was just on a different level from other stuff I've seen from Akame ga Kill. It was very fucked up. Now, one thing though. Shura's death. He dies differently. Like, way fucking differently in the manga than the anime. In the anime, he goes to this other fucking dimension out of nowhere, and this isn't shown at all. Like, that other dimension, that does not exist at all in the manga from what I read. From what I saw, that other fucking dimension, that time and space fucking dimension Shura did and tried to trap Rama in, that didn't exist in the manga. And I'm like, holy shit, they really changed that much. And they actually made plot holes, technically. The stuff they removed with Esdes and Mine and Tatsumi, Wave, Kurome, stuff like that, they created plot holes in the anime. There actually is plot holes. I'm not going to really dive deep into it, but if you read it for yourself, it's very apparent what type of plot holes they created, and it's not good. Like, the shoe plot hole, that's fucking massive. Like, what the fuck? And don't even get started on how Night Raid was able to survive the entire ordeal of Mordek's assassination in the anime. Holy shit, that is a big-ass plot hole. That is, now I can fucking fall face first into that, and I can't dodge it. Like, literally, that is miles long. That's how big that plot hole is, and that's how obvious that plot hole is. That's bad. Very fucking bad. Oh my god, that is a massive plot hole. Like, dude, you would die if you fall into that plot hole. It's that massive. So, yeah. The stuff they removed, actually made plot holes into the series, and that's not good. I'm not saying Akame ga Kill's manga is plot holeless. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it doesn't have its fair share of plot holes in the series. Like, the entire ordeal with Esdes and her time freeze power, I could see how people could call that an ass pull. I could gladly see why some fans of Akame ga Kill's manga series could call that an ass pull, because it did technically come out of nowhere. It did. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about Esdes' power, since she can technically freeze things, but it was never hinted at she could actually freeze fucking time. But I don't know, okay? I mean, nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever perfect in any series. Everything has its own flaws, but I'm not gonna really nitpick at the entire ordeal of Esdes freezing time. I'm not. I'm really not. But I can see how some can be very upset with that entire ordeal. But moving past that point, Shura, like I said, Shura was a very one-dimensional villain, and pretty much majority of Wild Hunt was one-dimensional. They were there to just show the corruption of the Empire to the Jaegers. That's pretty much the concept that the Wild Hunt arc was. It was the setup for the execution of Tatsumi, the death of Rama, and the Jaegers learning the true darkness of the capital. That's really what you can get from the arc. Now, let's talk about certain aspects of this arc that was just extremely fucked up. And this is where I want to talk about a certain topic. I saw a couple of Chibits in the comment section of my last Akame ga Kill review, which I've yet to actually reply to everybody. I need to do that, actually, after I'm done with this video. Pretty much, I saw a bunch of Chibits say that the Wild Hunt arc is one of the worst arcs in the series. I've heard some Chibits, I didn't see it a lot, but I saw some Chibits say it. And then when I started reading the overall arc, I started questioning why. Some people, the ones that were actually saying that the arc wasn't that good, was because it was too dark, or the themes felt very weird or off for Akame ga Kill, or it was disgusting. I can understand how people can call certain themes that were in this arc very disgusting, especially with the fucking crusty clown dude. That's fucked up. Or the ball crushing scene. But, like I said, I've seen a lot worse in series, and it really doesn't affect me to that extent to where I think it should be completely cut out from a series. I don't. And if that's what the mangaka wanted to write, or a writer of any series, of any literature wanted to write, you shouldn't discredit someone if they wanted to write something like that. And personally, I like that. I like how the mangaka wanted to actually dive into these dark vibes. I mean, the overall apparentness of rape has been in the series since the very beginning. I've heard, like, there's a chapter 22 or 23 or whatever, it's like a side story chapter that is focused on, like, Koro eating people, and you have, like, a raping scene or whatever. So, personally, the rape scenes have always been in the series, and if some people actually want to remove the Wild Hunt arc, like, it's fine, it's gone, then I really don't know what to say. If you want it gone because of these certain specific scenes of it just being dark, I highly don't recommend you ever reading something like Berserk, because it is 1,000 times greater in dark themes, in intensity, gore, and violence than Akame ga Kill ever is. And besides comparing it to Berserk, because that's not even a fair comparison, let's just get off the topic of that. Let's talk about this manga some more. Okay, the crusty clown dude. Fucking crusty clown. Out of all the moments that I've read, besides Raba's death, okay, and the shock factor of what happened with Esdes and Mine and stuff like that, crusty clown, I was like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? This dude, Krusty Clown, I'm not giving him his real name. He's Krusty fucking Clown. Or the Child Clown. Or Child Rapist Clown. I don't know. Krusty Clown. CC. There you go. Krusty Clown. I don't even know how to begin. It's fucked up. It is just, it's very fucked up for what he did. He raped and killed Bowles' child. That's my god, dude. Like, oh my god. That's wrong. Like, oh my god. Like, Bowles' wife, widowed wife, and his child that no longer has a father constantly visited his grave pretty much every single day. We see this constantly from what the chapters I read. Wild Hunt comes into the picture, and they're allowed to get away with anything they want, since Shura technically is the son of the Prime Minister. He can get away with murder if he wants. He can kill anybody he wants, and he can pin the problems on Night Raid, or whatever he wants to do. So, the main problem is that Wild Hunt could do anything they wanted. They can kill anybody they wanted, do anything they wanted, rape anybody they wanted. That's pretty much what happened. And they actually discovered the widowed wife of Bowles, and the daughter, and they got raped and killed, both of them, by Shura and Krusty Clown, on top of Bowles' grave. That is wrong. I could see how some people can be offended by that. I could see how some readers of Akame ga Kill could be offended by reading something like that. But like I said, it's dark. But this entire theme has been in Akame ga Kill since the very beginning, so I don't really see a reason to complain about some themes like this. But I do hate the fucking clown. That's disgusting for what he did. Killing the children of Ron? Oh my god. Killing the children he used to teach. Oh my god. I'm glad he died. I definitely am glad he died. If he would have been shown in the anime, I'm willing to bet my rage level for the Krusty Clown dude, I would have had a lot more rage for him than I would have had for Demonic Justice. Demonic Justice is fucked up, okay? On a lot of different levels for what she did. But what the Krusty Clown did of torturing and raping children pretty much and killing them after he was done, oh my god, that crosses my line right there. That really crosses my line. It's wrong. It's very, very wrong. Like I said, I'm glad he died. And I'm glad Ron got his, vengeance against him. It sucks also he died. I want to say right now. It sucks hard he died, because we found out he was actually going to defect to the rebels, or he was going to change the capital from the inside out through the Jaegers. And to see how he died like he did, and it got turned into a puppet by Kurome, I was like, oh. And what's even more fucked up is when he was dying, he actually has this final inner monologue before he dies. Is like, oh my god, you're this twisted. You have this twisted personality, Kurome, that you would do this to me. You would actually turn me as one of your puppets. This is what Ron says right before he dies. And he's like, this is what is really wrong with the capital, because something like this can happen. So it's sad. It's sad. Once again, just, oh my god. It just shows you how fucked up Kurome is in the head, and how twisted she is. And actually, I want to get into that real quick about Kurome. From what I've been reading from these past couple chapters, from chapter 35 to 53 now, it's very apparent to me that the damage Chelsea did to Kurome has been very, very bad. Like, a lot of damage has been done to Kurome. She is actually affected to this very chapter, like this latest chapter in the series, by what Chelsea did when she stabbed her in the back of the neck. Because, chapter 48, I think it's 48 or 49, chapter 48 or 49, we see Kurome puke up blood, because she's still damaged from Chelsea. So, from what my perspective, the way I see it going, Chelsea at the very end, even though she died, she might have the final laugh against Kurome. She might die, because she is damaged. She's still fucking damaged and still cannot recover. So, I think Kurome is going to die, eventually. Definitely by the wounds, probably, of what Chelsea did to her. I want to say it now. I sense it coming, and that definitely is going to happen. So, moving on to the next parts I want to discuss, let's get into the factor of mine versus Esdeath. That ending. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Budo and Esdeath are about to execute Tatsumi, pretty much. Tatsumi is about to be killed, okay? This is technically where the anime ends at, in the latest episode, right before Tatsumi's about to get executed, and they cut out all that stuff I was just talking about, pretty much. They cut out all that shit. And the thing is that mine and Esdeath pretty much have a little bit of a fight in this latest chapter. Okay, Esdeath and Budo. From what we have been told, they are the strongest people in the capital, and none of the rebel army can really stand up to them. As we found out, and as I discussed in my last review, Esdes can fight 50,000 elite soldiers, 10 Tegu users including Akame, at once. That's just Esdes. Now, Budo's supposedly at her level in strength. So, the two strongest Tegu users are pretty much defending Tatsumi before he gets executed. This is like something you would see from like the admirals in One Piece pretty much defending the execution victim, who they're about to kill. 10 points if you get the reference. Pretty much though, seeing how these two strongest fighters actually are defending Tatsumi, and then Mine blows through to save her boyfriend, but Mine blows through the wall to the execution stadium to save Tatsumi, and she comes face to face with Esdes and Budo. The thing is that we have been hinted at Mine's Tegu for a long time. It's been hinted at, it's been talked about since the very beginning, since it was first introduced, her powers of her Tegu. Her Tegu gets stronger for the bigger pinch she's in. For instance, if she's in a harder ordeal and she's about to die, and also her feelings are strong, she will have a strong Tegu that can outmatch almost anything. And so, judging by how she feels, like, you know, she really cares and loves her boyfriend Tatsumi, that love is strong, those emotions are strong, which helps her pumpkin Tegu. And also with her emotions in, like, her dire situation of being surrounded by imminent death, like Esdes and Budo, the strongest Tegu users, Mine is probably at the power level, or her Tegu, at the very least, is at the power level of Esdes or Budo, which I could see how some could probably complain about that, I could. But, like I said, it's been hinted at about her abilities of her Tegu, so you really can't complain about that. I mean, her abilities, you know, have always been displayed since the very beginning of the first, like, 10 chapters of Akame ga Kill, and so I can understand how she's able to, at the very least, deflect some of Esdes' attacks, or at the very least, manage to hold her own. Because, like I said, her pumpkin has been hinted at with its abilities for a long time, so I can't complain on Mine actually holding her own against the two strongest Tegu users. The question is, will Mine make it out of this fine? Like, will she make it out of this, and will she survive? Because there is actually something very interesting that happened, I think, in chapter 45. It's chapter 45 or 46. It's one of those two chapters. In chapter 45, I think it's 45, we see the Great Lord from the Path of Peace, one of the leaders, the religious leaders that were under threat about to be killed by Bordek of the assassination Bordek, you know, arc that we had that was skipped in the freaking anime. Well, the Great Lord states that he saw a prophecy, and his prophecies only pop up every so often. It depends. Only every so often will his prophecies pop up, and the prophecy popped up was something on the form of a tragedy between Tatsumi and Mine. Now, as we know, Akame ga Kill loves killing its characters off, okay? It loves killing its characters off. They're like, there's no limits to the deaths of characters. Rama's death, frickin' Shura's death, Bulat's death, I mean, Chelsea's death, Shelly's death, I mean, there's a lot of deaths that's happened. And so, I mean, no character is technically safe, I would guess, besides probably Tatsumi, Kurome, Wave, and Akame. Those are the only characters I can see that possibly have some form of plot armor, where they will definitely not die, for at the very least until the very end of the series. And so, Mine. With the prophecy, what the Great Lord pretty much said, he said that there was a tragedy between the two, and hopefully his, like, prophecy is off. It makes me think that maybe Mine will die in this fight between Esdes, Budo, and herself. It's possible. It's definitely possible that she can possibly die. And I wonder exactly what would happen to Tatsumi if he actually sees the person he loves, he's going out with, for instance, Mine, die by Esdes and Budo. Because, personally, there's no way in fuck, honestly, I think Mine should be able to survive this fight. I want to be honest. I'm not a hater of Mine. I don't hate her. She's a really cool character. I've grown attached to her, and I like her personality. She definitely suits Tatsumi. I'm fine with that. But, personally, I don't think she should honestly be able to fight toe-to-toe with Esdes and Budo at once. Maybe one-on-one, because her pumpkin with the dire pinch thing. But I don't think she should be able to fight two of them, or both of them at once. But anyways, the thing I want to talk about is the actual aspect of Wave and Shura's death, too. Like, or Wave and Shura's freaking fight. I don't know why I was saying death, God, because he died. But anyways, Wave and Shura's fights. The aspect of how Wave gets his revenge against Shura was kick-ass. And I'm disappointed they skipped that. I'm very fucking pissed that the anime studio decided to skip something as amazing as that. It could have been so good. It really could have been so good if they did not skip that fight. The fist-to-fist fight. There was no fucking tegus used. It was fist, bronze and fist, of Wave versus Shura. Shura that used all these different martial arts type skills that he's learned around the country as he was traveling, versus Wave that was pretty much a taught to me. Like, he's another version of taught to me. It was a really cool fight I enjoyed seeing. And when he fucking punched Shura right in the face after what Shura did to Bowles' family, rapes them and kills them, I was just like, fuck yes! Oh my god, I was like, fuck yes. When I saw Wave just punch him in the face, and when he knocked him out and kicked his ass, I was like, fuck yes. So, seeing that aspect, I was really happy something like that happened. I really was. It was an amazing fight. And to see Shura get his face kicked in by Wave, I was like, yeah. Wave doesn't get enough spotlight to shine in anime, which is kind of disappointing. And once again, another flaw on the anime's part, cutting out these Wave scenes, like it cut out the Wave versus fucking Not Raid. Oh my god. I forgot to mention that in my last review. They cut out Wave versus Night Raid. What the? That was a hype fight just like Susanoo and Esdes, and you're telling me you cut out fucking Wave? Ooh. I don't want to turn into a rant. I don't want to rant on the fucking company lot, Fox, because I fucking already said it. If you can't fucking do it right, don't fucking make it. Just don't fucking make it if you can't make a series properly. Even if it's censor reasons. Don't fucking make it if you have to censor shit out. Keep it close to the writer's dream of how they envision their writing. But anyways, back on topic. Budo. Budo states that he will come for the Prime Minister's head, or he will go after the source of the cause of the rebellion and the current troubles and ordeals that are going on in the capital. Now, Budo's introduction, I really like his character so far. From judging from what I could see, he definitely will probably become a rebel. Like, he might eventually join the Revolutionary Army. I sense something like that happen. Even though he's bound by secret laws and stuff, I mean, he definitely cannot turn a blind eye to some stuff that's currently going on. I mean, it's really fucked up what is going on, because he knows the Prime Minister is the cause of it. He says that he will get and cleanse, like, the capital of the evil that's currently going on inside of it once he finishes off all the rebels. And so this means that the two strongest people, Budo and Esdes, are going to be having a fight in the future. If it turns out like that, if Esdes never goes to the good side, which I highly doubt she ever will, and it fucking makes me mad because Esdes is one of my favorite characters in the series, and if she was to fucking die, I'd be very pissed off. Since we're on the topic of Esdes, I want to talk about Esdes's overall relationship with Tatsumi, how she finds out about Tatsumi's girlfriend, Mine. That revelation in these chapters, this arc, I was like, holy shit, when I saw some of the dialogue that Tatsumi said. It's just seeing Tatsumi say that, like, I will never join you, Esdes. I have a girlfriend, pretty much, Mine. And to see Esdes' face of rejection, Tatsumi, you're stepping on ground that you shouldn't step on. Oh my god. Esdes is going to fucking kill you. I mean, if that would have been anyone else, Tatsumi's head would have been on a pike. Like, I mean, if Esdes didn't care for Tatsumi, his head would already have been on a pike. Oh my god, Tatsumi, you're playing with fucking fire when you piss off Esdes and you reject her. Scary as shit. I'm just gonna say, that's scary as shit. So yeah. Now let's talk about the death of Rama. That's actually something I really want to talk about. Rama's death, he died like a fucking man. I just want to say it right now. He absolutely died like a fucking man. The way he went down, even though he got cut in half, the way he did not reveal any information on Not Raid, and he played Shura like a fucking fiddle, pretty much, until he killed him, he died like a badass. That's all I'm gonna say. It really saddens me Rama as a character died like he did, and it saddens me even worse how much the anime fucked up his death. Like, it really, really took a shit on Rama as character. It did. To see how the anime just shit on Rama as a character, and technically Shura as slightly as a villain, pisses me off. It definitely pisses me off. I mean, that final scene of Robin when he reaches into the sky, and you just see his hand reaching into the sky, and you see the blood coming off his hand, and you just see, like, he's reaching for an agenda, pretty much. And then what he says in his dialogue, his final lines, he's like, I don't care. I mean, I still love you, and I'm just a guy with, like, one ball left. I'm like... He tried to have some form of comedy, but what he said, it's just, it hits you. Like, Rama, man, he deserved more of the spotlight. You don't realize how good of a character he was for the course of the series until you saw his death. And it's fucked up he is gone. It's really, really fucked up Rama had to die like he did, and it's more fucked up that Rama got shit on in the anime. It really, really pains me to see Rama as a character done the way he was done in the anime. The way they had him, like, spiked through the fucking balls, if you look at it, pretty much, in the anime, it looked gruesome and all, but that was, like, out of nowhere, and it was definitely fucking rushed, and it just came out of nowhere, like, what the fuck happened? And it pains me so much to see how he died. Now this is something I want to talk about. There is a massive difference between the fight of Shura, Rama, Budo, and Tatsumi. In the latest episode of Akame Got Killed, when we see Budo pop up and he starts fighting Tatsumi, that actually opens up a plot hole. That event in the anime opened up a massive ass fucking plot hole. This is one of the plot holes I was talking about earlier in this video. Budo is on the level of Esdes, okay? And there is no way in fuck, at all, no way in fuck, Tatsumi should be able to fight Budo. In the anime, it clearly shows that Tatsumi was fighting Budo for quite a long time, the way they were depicting it. And that right there kind of sickens me, because that once again opens up a plot hole. A massive ass plot hole. Tatsumi shouldn't have even been able to last 30 seconds against Budo. He shouldn't have. So to see how the fight was drug out in the anime with Budo and Tatsumi, that opens up a massive, massive plot hole. And that really just shows you how much they're really fucking up with the anime. But getting off the topic of the anime, let's talk about the fight between Budo, Tatsumi, Esdes, Shura and his wild hunt, and Rama unconscious. That, wow. The tension in that scene when Rama and Tatsumi get caught by Shura, Budo, and Esdes was scary as fuck. Like, oh my god. Tatsumi was actually... At first, I thought Tatsumi was going to leave Rama behind and escape. He was using his Incursio and just trying to run really fast, dodge everybody. He hit Shura back, tried to weaken the enemies. I mean, he was trying to grab Rama, but he was captured in the very end because of Budo and Esdes pretty much hitting him. And so, seeing how he tried to take on everybody by himself in the manga was impressive. And it shows my respect for Tatsumi, because he realized he could not fight Budo at all, and he was just planning on escaping. He did not give a shit. He was just trying to run. And to see how he tried to do that, it kind of shows how he understands his situation. He had to get the fuck out of there. But in the anime, the way they make it makes it look like, you know, Tatsumi's fighting Budo all by himself. He's just kicking fucking ass, fighting Budo and all that. And then you have it to where Shura versus Rama is going on, and it just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, the fight, the way it was executed in the anime is just disgusting. It is just absolutely disgusting for what they did. I mean, I guess Rama got a little bit more of a fight in the actual anime, but it killed his character. It killed his character, his overall determination to not give any information. The way he died was a way a man would go down that truly loves his friends and loves his group. And it depresses me. It depresses me how they remove some of these moments, too. Now I see why so many manga readers are so pissed off with the events of these past two episodes, because they're just absolutely disgusting for what they have done to the actual source material of the manga. It is really, really disgusting for what they have changed and what they have ruined. The development of characters, the fights, the setup. Speaking of setup, we find out about this Western Kingdom. This Western Kingdom is actually said to rival the Empire. Like, besides the Empire, the Western Kingdom is the second strongest, and it's said to probably rival the Empire. So, I'm thinking the overall setup of that, it might hint to eventually an arc focused on the Western Kingdom in the future. It's a possibility, it could possibly go there, depending if the goal of the capital, like for instance, the Prime Minister gets killed. I mean, will the series end when the Prime Minister gets killed, or will the overall mangaka decide to drag out the series even further past that? I don't know, because you can definitely tell the overall conclusion of the series of Akame ga Kill is drawing closer and closer to a close. I want to be honest, it feels like the series is going to end within a year. At the very least, I see the series ending within a year in terms of trying to kill the Prime Minister. So, I'm questioning, like, how can they continue to make the series fresh and continuing on? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's different countries out there, not just the Empire, pretty much. There's a lot of other countries out there that could possibly, need assistance for a revolutionary army to save everybody. So, I can see how they can continue. The manga can continue the story, but I will have to see exactly where he takes the story. But, anyways, let's talk about how I personally feel now. Looking beside the review and talking about the events they've changed and the arc of Wild Hunt, let's just talk about my personal feelings. My personal feelings of how I feel about what White Fox has done to this series. I'm honestly pissed. I honestly am pissed for what they did. I am really mad how this series got fucking butchered. Like, it got butchered. It got the Tokyo Ghoul treatment. These last two episodes got the Tokyo Ghoul treatment. I can't defend it. Though, like I said, I told you why most likely it got cut, because of censors at the beginning of this video, but it still doesn't excuse it. It doesn't excuse anime companies for destroying the writing or the literature of a mangaka or any writer in general. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't. It's like you writing a story. Like you Chibis are currently watching. Imagine you wrote a story, a beautiful story. You love your story, you cherish your story, and you have so much faith in the story, and you put so much heart and inspiration into the story. You've worked on it for hours, slaving for hours to write the story, but you've had a lot of fun with it. All of a sudden, one day, this company comes up to you and say, hey, guess what? I will make your story into a series, but you won't really have a say in the matter of where the story will go. Here's a lot of things that some people really don't understand how anime adaptations work. Some people don't understand when an anime goes off track from a manga that it's actually not because the mangaka wanted that to happen. The mangaka actually signs a contract before an anime gets published. The mangaka signs a contract. And sometimes signing contracts, depending on the company, depending on the circumstances, depending on the popularity, and whatever type of laws, or, how far the mangaka can push the company, depends on how much rights he has to say against a series being turned into an anime. And so, some mangaka or writers of a series don't have any say when it comes to a series being adapted into an anime. Like, for instance, they will accept the contract, but they will watch their series get fucking butchered and be very upset about it. There's been a lot of cases where a bunch of different mangaka of series have actually been upset for what has actually happened to their written story. For instance, the JoJo Bizarre Adventure mangaka, I remember an article a while back. It was a while back, but I remember an article, and Chibi's actually pointing me towards it, that the mangaka of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was sickened, absolutely fucking sickened by what the anime studios did to the movies of Part 1 and Part 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the first series, that he was absolutely sickened, and he would not sign a contract for another anime or let any other studio touch his series unless they adapt every single panel by panel. And so, it shows you some mangaka cannot control what happens to their series. This actually happened to an acclaimed mangaka of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And for it to happen to a person like that status, this will definitely happen to no-name mangakas. I mean, they may be great people and great series writers. They might make great stories, but it doesn't stop anime studios from butchering their work. And so if this can happen to someone from, like, the mangaka of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, then it could definitely happen to something like Akame ga Kill, and most likely the mangaka of Akame ga Kill is very pissed off for what has happened to his series. This also goes into different other aspects too. If you've ever watched Bakuman or read Bakuman, you will kind of find out more about these aspects of what mangaka really have to go through when they want to turn their manga into an anime. Just because you have a contract pop up like, oh, you can become an anime, doesn't mean that's a good thing. Because companies have their own contracts and they can do with what they want with the series if you allow them to, or if you sign a contract not realizing what you're signing. So, for the most part, people can defend it all they want and say that the mangaka allows a studio to fuck up their series. Usually the mangaka doesn't want that to happen. Usually. Majority. Like Ishida. I remember an article. I remember an article like about a month back. I remember after the anime of Tokyo Ghoul ended. Ishida, the mangaka of Tokyo Ghoul, I remember was very pissed off. I remember he sent an article, he was like kind of upset with how the anime was handled of his series, because Ishida is built upon foreshadowing, and he loves using his tarot cards to where he like foreshadows different events on different panels and characters, and every event he has a lot of importance to the overall development of his series. And I heard that he was actually very pissed off for how the anime treated his series, so he actually wrote the plot for the upcoming season 2 of Tokyo Ghoul, and he actually made it an anime original, his own plot. He wrote it. That's how pissed off he was from the actual series of Tokyo Ghoul's first season. I saw that in an article somewhere. And so, to see something like this, it just shows you even great mangaka cannot control what happens to their series, and that's probably the case when it comes to Akame ga Kill. The poor mangaka of Akame ga Kill is probably upset, sickened, and disgusted just as much as we are as manga readers of Akame ga Kill, and it's saddening. It's very, very fucking saddening. So, I think I've ranted long enough. I mean, I've said my opinion on the arc. Like, the Wild Hunt arc is a really, really fucking amazing arc. I mean, it's not the best thing I've ever seen, of course. It's not. But in terms of all the arcs of Akame ga Kill, I think it's personally my favorite. It is definitely one of my favorites, actually. I mean, the Esdes arc, like when she was fighting Night Raid and all that, my favorite. Downright one of my favorite moments of Akame ga Kill, especially with this current arc of Wild Hunt, with how Rama got little of his development and all that, and how he died. Just the overall development of the Wild Hunt arc and what happened with Esdes and all that with Night Raid. Best moments of Akame ga Kill. And it depresses me it got skipped in the anime. So, I'm really mad that the studio decided to butcher something this good. It's definitely good. So, tell me your thoughts in the comments below, how you feel about this review of Akame ga Kill's overview of Wild Hunt, the ending conclusion, I think, of the Bordic arc, and my thoughts so far on the latest chapter. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. And before I end this video, yes, I will be doing monthly reviews of Akame ga Kill chapter by chapter. Just clearing that up. So anyways, Chibi out.